Good afternoon, everybody. Diabetes the Second here with some Dragon Warrior Randomizer. We've got a community race about to start, so we're going to go ahead and get ourselves all squared away here. Definitely looking to get a little bit of redemption after the mapping snafu in the last race. One more person to ready up, and as soon as they do, we'll be underway here. Also got a slightly different camera system set up here, so hopefully that will also be a bit better from the last race stream. Alright, last person's readied up. Good luck, have fun, everybody. Will be emerging here into the randomized world of Alfgard in 3, 2, 1, go. And we'll be debuting a custom sprite. Still probably needs a few tweaks here and there, but one of these skeletons from Dragon Warrior 3, appropriate for the month of October. Starting off with Erdrick's Token, and an herb. Radiant and Hurtmore. 513 21 9. Well then. Also the town of Cantlin right next door. Chained Magic Large. Copper and Full. One, 2, 5, 4. Four, 4, 1, 2. Oops. Eight, 1, 4, 33 MP. I love it. Hey, fat boy, welcome in. We are just grinding out a few levels here. We started off this seed. Oh, there's a town there to the southwest. With the Hurtmore spell, so... Oh gosh, we also have Remolder with keys. while we're still alive and have 53 gold, let's go ahead and take the level, or take the key. Replacement key, wings, fighter's ring. Oops. Come on. And a dragon scale. OAG with the host. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. OAG still on the nice RPG tour, taking a bit of a break, just finished up until dawn, moving on to more spoopy October games. And the staff turn in. Alright, nothing else down here. Three, 5, 6, 9. Nice. You are quite welcome, sir. Sorry it took a second to get in there. Let's just skip that. Things are going okay, though, to answer your earlier question. Just getting a little bit of race time in. We had a bit of an unfortunate snafu with the mapping yesterday, so we are looking to recover from that a little bit. And to address Fat Boy, yes, this is a sprite, at least modified from a Dragon Warrior 3 sprite. Really, I just want to fight something that gives a little bit of XP. Yes, 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 I know. Focus on the race. It is what we're trying to do here. And Angro, welcome in as well. 2000. Great level. Wasn't quite completely empty after that, but it was pretty close. Alright, level 7 for us. 4, 4, 6, 7. can burn our last Hurtmore here on a Magiwyvern or something else. Nice. Unfortunately, no gold grind available, so all this really strong equipment that's pretty nearby we can't really do much with. We can, however, take the time now to at least fill up on keys. We can check for coordinates in Cantlin. A short walk in a big swamp. Yeah... It was the right thing to do, though. When you're out of MP and your strongest offensive maneuver is Hurtmore, it's often the best option. Also check the chest here. Yeah, no, I was just pointing it out. Alright, herb here in Remulder. Not super helpful. Encounter rate, stop being ridiculous. Well, that Hurtmore kind of stinks. We will take the opportunity here to fill up on the rest of our herbs. We'll try to check coordinates. Actually, what I should have done first is use the ones I had. Coordinates, 28 south, 74 west. Well, it's possible that they're countable, but that is a very long count, over 100 steps, so probably gonna be a princess rescue situation. We do have Repel should we choose to use it, although realistically at this stage in the game we're not really repelling much. Although we do keep seeing slimes, so perhaps it is the right call. Cave down here just to the south. Tablet cave. One chest, no encounters. We do not have outsides, so we'll be taking the long walk back. Had to modify the sprite just a little bit because of the limitations of what's available. If I knew enough to be able to change some memory address values, I might be able to tweak it a little bit, but honestly I think this looks fine. Again, it may need a little bit more tweaking for some of the other sprites along the way. So key in the tablet cave, which is great. We already have keys, so... Technically, we didn't quite see if that dead ends up there, although I think it probably does. And another dead end. One 5, 1 7. Honestly, taking the death is probably the smart thing here. Apparently we have driven the Magiwyverns extinct. Didn't mean to cast Sleep there, just menued a bit too fast, missed the input. There's one interesting thing about menuing in this game is because, particularly, the spell list isn't an instantaneous load, the more spells you have, the longer it takes the list to fully drop down. So you do have to adjust as the race goes on and you learn more spells to time the inputs to menu properly. Well, I mean, we're gonna do our best to drive them toward extinction, but yes, we did see one last one. Maybe it's like the last unicorn. Unfortunately, we sent it packing. Yeah, if you notice, the spell drops down from the top. I mean, you're talking a couple of frames. I think it's like each couple of lines take, or each line, or every 2 lines or something, takes an 2:17, 11, 4. Takes a frame to animate. So if you go frame by frame, you can actually see that it does take a little bit longer. At least it wasn't a critical miss menu this time. Actually worked out and still kept us alive, but yeah. Just make something up. Oh yeah, it's the yeah. So you see the memory values and, you know, the frame rate and during certain sequences, yeah. In other words, it's everyone's fault but mine that I screwed up. Not sure if anything goes that way. And we get back attacked. Exactly. It's not a dropped input, or it's not me making inputs at the wrong time. It's a dropped input, or it's something that the game does wrong. I mean, technically, I probably should have done this before. Make a couple purchases when I had a little bit more cash on hand. And we see that our Skelly Man has a sword. I made sure that equipment matters for what our sprite looks like. So this portion would be more in the custom sprite area, because the original sprite doesn't have that. Yikes. Hey Dragon Warrior fan, welcome in. I don't use, like, one of the digital trackers, so I don't have anything that will either pop up on stream or that whatever, I use a whiteboard. And I just have, like, a list of my stuff, all the key items, locations that I've checked, etc. And then I map on that board as well. But I can give you a quick summary. We found the Erdrick's token in the throne room, so that was quick. We started off with the spell of Hurtmore, so it's been pretty fast gaining XP and such. Cantlin was right outside the castle, as was the town of Remulder, so we had keys pretty early. We were able to unlock the treasury. Treasury had a dragon scale, the fighter's ring, an extra key, and wings, I believe. The back of the castle had the staff turn-in, which, you know, we don't really need quite yet because we don't have the harp. And then this cave right here is the tablet cave that also had a key. And really, we're just looking for zones that have good enemies for us to cast Hurtmore on. Our strength is not good. So it's really kind of coming down to how can I just best gain XP as quickly as possible. Generating an auto tracker for this game, not sure how much interest there is. There is a very rudimentary, I wouldn't say it's rudimentary, it has a decent number of features, but the reliability isn't necessarily the best. There is an auto tracker that was written in a very, like, pre-alpha state that is posted to the DWR Discord. I'm not sure if, and it's on GitHub, obviously, so that would be perhaps a jumping off point. be a little finicky. Yeah, I mean, again, it's only going to work with FCEUX as an emulator, and it doesn't necessarily do the best job of keeping track of things like enemy abilities and some other things, and it's only going to work with, just because of the way it's programmed. It doesn't really rip some of that information directly from the ROM, it's just populating it from an absolute vanilla set of values. 19.5, 2620, wow, what a level. Well, that helps things out quite a bit. Heal and heal more on top of it, so that is an amazing level. I think what it would come down to, as we find out that wolves have Dragonlord Breath, glad we were using Hurtmore against them earlier, is that really anything that's automated would be against the rules in racing. So, again, the utility kind of drops off because of that, because you're really going to only get any sort of usage in casual play. And particularly, it's going to be probably more useful for those who aren't super familiar with running the game in the first place, which is fine, because there are, you know, plenty of people that just play for fun, that aren't racing, or just want to have something up on stream that they don't have to click through constantly. So there definitely is, I think, a place for it. I would imagine that it would be very similar to how... That go through? Yes, it does. Similar to how things like Zelda trackers and stuff like that have worked, where if you put it in quote-unquote SRL mode or streamer mode or whatever it is, racing mode, that the automated aspect of it is disabled for that, and it just becomes a click-through system. Dragon Warrior fan, I agree 100%. The Heal More spell is going to make a tremendous difference in my survivability. Even just the regular heal spell would make a big difference, considering I had nothing until about, 3 minutes ago. Unfortunately, our attack power, even with a copper sword, is pretty bad. So Hurtmore is still our best offensive capability. Nothing here to the south. Pred Dragon is too strong. And yes, the Lua script, it's the same thing that's used for a lot of different things. In particular, we have the DWR co-op, which, depending on the timing here, Nim and I might be doing the Seed of the Week here in a little bit. After the race, we will have to see, but yeah, FCEUX is probably the most common for purposes for that kind of thing. It's not my favorite emulator for a number of reasons. I find that my audio isn't quite as clean and crisp, and I have a lot of issues with it just being a resource hog for some reason. So I haven't really tried with Mezen, because Mezen is what I use normally. That's what I'm using right now. I haven't actually tried that, especially with like cross emulator play for Lua purposes, so I would probably need to do some experimentation with that. Well, now that you've sapped all of my resources, you let me go so I can go die in the swamp. Perfect. Well played, Mr. Red Dragon. Well played. Yep, unfurl the banner. Mission accomplished. So really, well, I guess there are, well, no, there's only one way to go at this point. It's across that bridge to the west down there. Oh boy, red dragons are going to be a problem, aren't they? The problem is that we really haven't seen a great zone. Wow, 51 damage. That's what happens when you have no defensive equipment. Again, it's one of those things as well. Yeah, I had enough cash there to buy the chainmail, but it's like, does 10 defense make that much of a difference? In terms of damage reduction, it's 1 to 2. It's not much. It's about every 8 defense takes 1 to 2 damage off swings that you're taking from enemies. It's really more useful when it comes to repelling enemies and defense breaking enemies. Unless you're going to half plate or better, it kinda doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but not really. Like, the extra 10 defense that we would have picked up from a chainmail might have made that 51 damage we took a 49, and either way, we would have been dead either way, so it kinda doesn't matter. Trying to figure out, is this actually a different zone down here with the werewolf? It's just hard to walk across 2 tiles. It might be. Okay, level 11. 9, 10, 6, 13. Again, that's another pretty across-the-board decent level. Whoops. Again, that's an example of we learned a couple of spells at the last level, and I menued the up input to get down to Hurtmore a little too fast. Because the menu now takes a little bit longer to populate. Can we go 3 wide? Okay, that was weird. What else is actually in the zone here? Yeah! I promise, I really did press up. I just pressed it too soon. Hey look, now we've got a shield! Figure we've got the cash, might as well utilize it before we lose it. There's not much covering him. I'm not sure where he's putting that chainmail. But we do indeed now have defense. So we picked up 20 defense there. So again, it's not an insignificant amount. We're taking off about 3 to 5-ish damage from any swings that we take. It's pretty good. But I think literally the rest of the seed has to be across this bridge. I don't think there's any other branch points that we haven't already covered. Of course, again, with last night's mapping snafu, anything is possible. Okay, that is good enough for level 12 now. 1031. Well, not every level can be an all-star level. I swear, somehow, this black marker, which I barely touched, is just garbage. I know I keep saying I'm gonna get new markers, I never do, but I am actually going to this time, very soon. It will be a joyous day. It's the dream! The Jerk Cave on its own little island. Very cool. Not repel, heal more. That's just me being dumb. That's me thinking repel ran out and I need to recast it. But can't do that during battle. Another cave here. Nice crit. Excuse me. Couldn't reach the mute in time. Jerk earned enough money that he was able to afford his own island. This is the grave. Appropriate for our skeleton hero. Erdrick's armor, very nice. Silver harp, also good. And some gold. Yeah, that's just me just partially writing something down and partially deciding whether or not I wanted to fight or run away. Sometimes indecision, I guess, can be its own RNG manipulation. The nice thing about the armor, in addition to all of the other things that it normally does for us, it's just a big defensive upgrade from the chainmail. Going from 10 to 28 defense. See, that time was right on immediate. Sometimes you just gotta know the RNG cycles. Golden last chest. Unfortunately, we do not have outside, so that was perhaps a miscalculation on my part to go ahead and dive the grave. To be honest with you, I didn't really think about it until I already started going. We'll leave repel off and see what else is here. If there's some mid-tier enemies, then, for example, the Druid Lord, something which we would be repelling if we kept repel on, we'll keep it off. If it's early game garbage, then we'll throw it back up. Yes, my ability to frame count 30 FPS is just super good. I can count exactly that 1 in 32 frames, so I can hit all the crits. I'm not sure exactly how the determination is. I do know that it is approximately a 3% chance, or 1 in 32, but I'm not sure how that calculation is actually done. in terms of, like, distribution within, like, the RNG counter. Very nice timing for a town. We definitely could use the heals. It's Garenham. We're good on herbs. Lots of options here. We'll go broadsword. Mostly because we don't need any armor options, and that's what most of the options were, outside of the silver shield, which is far too expensive. We do have keys, so we can check the back here. So we have 3 chests plus the cave location. I'm a traitor. I have defected and gone to the other side. I'm fighting against the Dragon Lord. It only makes sense that they would pull out all the stops to fight against one of their brethren who has betrayed them. Really? I've never seen one of those NPCs get up there into that corner. Mountain cave or swamp? Swamp. Can I take... I mean, at full resources, it's going to be a slow fight without the fairy flute, but I should be able to take it out. The only reason I'm even considering this is because I really would like... really would like to rescue Gwaelin, but, I will just instead take exact lethal damage and die. Thanks, game. Very fun. Troll NPC, troll enemy. Oh, I should have done the staff turn-in. Alright. Well, the Fairy Flute, like most items and most spells, definitely has utility. Wasn't the last race, but a couple of races ago, we used more fairy water than I think I have in any single seed ever. And not even for an offensive capabilities, because we never learned Repel. So it really just depends. I mean, even in our last race, we were grinding up golems, and we used the Fairy Flute probably... I couldn't even hazard a guess at a specific number of times we played the flute, but it was a lot. It was a lot. Okay, level 13. 25 power is awesome. 8, 13, 9. And the town of Cole. Death necklace. Another town. At this point, Breckenir Hawksness, hoping that it is Hawksness. Breckenir doesn't really serve a whole lot of purpose for us now, other than just as a healing spot, which we don't really need at the present moment. It's a big desert. This here, I believe, should be Hawksness. I also see the corner of Charlock up there to the northwest, so I'm glad that I'm not gonna lose that for the entire seed. Green dragons with hurt, always good. And an Axe Knight spike tile near a healing town, perfect. Speaking of the utility of the Fairy Flute, we find the Fairy Flute. Not exactly what we wanted, though. Stats are getting pretty close to go mode. So we need to be cautious about sitting and grinding too much. That's why I'm not staying there on the spike tile and Hawksness. We need to find the mountain cave. Actually, I take it back. Well, we may need to find the mountain cave. We have the stones still out there. We also have Erdrick's sword still out there. We do have search tile coordinates, which means something is there, and it will be one of those two items. We know that the coordinates are somewhere in this area, but without Gwaelin's love, it's going to be a difficult count. But the other item will be elsewhere. Alright, speaking of the mountain cave, we find it. Just to the southwest of Hawksness. So 5 chests here. If we find either the sword or the stones, we know that the other... Wait, I said no. What is happening? I'm not hitting anything. That was weird. Still no outside. We'll have to walk back out. Fortunately, this is not a very long cave. There's the sword. Alright, well, we're done. That means the stones are on the map. Actually, this still works out really well. If we're able to get through the golem and save the princess, we can go home, do the turn-in. And then walk back out. Toxness. And I think somewhere down here to the south should be, not directly to the south apparently, should be Garenham, which is what we're looking for. That's where our princess is. There it is. Level 14, I think, is still not strictly necessary, but we're so close to it, we're going to pick it up just by fighting the golem. But, I mean, right now we're looking with 126 attack power and 14 heal mores. Like 17 attacks to win with 14, so borderline with 103 HP, but again, we're going to pick up the level here, and I think that should likely be enough. Wish the agility were a little higher and our defense is a little bit on the weak side because of the lack of Silver Shield. Golem also has hurt. Well, that was a little bit scarier than I anticipated it being. Good thing he cast hurt once. Wasn't anticipating a 4 or 5 turn sleep. Alright. 1, 7, 11, 2. It's actually enough for an extra heal more, so I think that works. Right, no outside. It is a little bit unfortunate that we are actually probably very close to where the coordinates are. And we're going to have to go all the way home and walk all the way back. But again, I think it's still far superior than any sort of counting possibility. Yeah, no death runs are... well, in this game, it's probably the most likely to be able to be done. Also, we got a chance to very briefly see our princess carrying sprite. It's probably more likely to be done in this game versus any other just because of the issues with the defeat spell and such in later games, and that enemies can hit you critically. But yeah, the long sleeps can be very problematic, especially when they're on very tough enemies, and the Axe Knight that you mentioned is probably the most challenging of all with sleep, with the exception of the Red Dragon, of course. But, you know, only gonna face a few of those and very, very end of the game. Hopefully, if you're trying no deaths, you've kind of over-leveled. Just to see where we are. I know we are too far south. Yep. There's the stones. I think Mr. Holmes actually just did a, well, I shouldn't say deathless, but I believe party wipeless run of Dragon Warrior 2 fairly recently. It's pretty impressive, to be perfectly honest. I think he only had like maybe one or two deaths pre-Road to Roan and endgame grind, so that's, again, even more impressive. You know, fighting with sacrifice. Yeah, exactly. Between defeat, sacrifice, and anything else that can just wipe you out instantly, it'd be very not fun. I didn't do the. I didn't do the staff turn in. You dummy! You went here and you said you were gonna do it, and then you forgot. Grr. Grr, can't do this in bigger races. I'm also out of keys. Good God. Just make all the mistakes. Normally, I am good at this game. Yesterday and today, not so much. Holy moly. Overall, this has been a very, very clean run, so I don't really have any complaints. Again, this is a very, very small time loss compared to yesterday. Yesterday we lost probably between the time that I probably should. Why am I even in here? It's the wrong spot. Between the time I should have found Sharlock and when I actually did was probably about 14 minutes, because I came and explored the entirety of the map outside of where Sharlock was before going back. It happens. Yeah, stat should be okay. This is more like a 1.5 to 2 minute time loss, not a 15-minute time loss. Now we have the rainbow drop. Technically, we should also probably hedge our bets just a touch by picking up some fairy water and Brecconary. Right now, with only 127 attack power, we're looking at 6 to 13 damage. We should have enough damage output because of the number of heal mores we have, but it's probably, again, not the worst idea to hedge against that just a little bit. I believe is Cole. Encounter rate, come on. At this rate, I could have just picked up the extra level. Strictly speaking, we don't need the torch. It would be more beneficial to have the fairy water, but since I don't have any extra MP to cast Radiant, just for everybody's viewing purposes and making the bonks slightly fewer going through Charlock, we'll do that. We also dumped the Death Necklace because we're not going to use it. Because we had the Death Necklace, the Flute, Gwaelin's Love, and the Rainbow Drop, we only had room for 4 other items, so inventory management, again, kind of becoming a big factor. So 4 Fairy Waters. One thing we have to be cognizant of in a Dragonlord fight if we use Fairy Water is that the Fairy Flute is mixed into that. So we just have to be careful we select the correct item. With 80 defense, the only enemy we would be repelling at this point is the wizard, so no problem leaving repel / fairy water off. I think it's going to be a lot more useful to keep the extra heal more and for the extra damage at the end. Then again, if this zone is exclusively wizards, then it's like, well, it's a lot of extra fights to run from. Alright, relatively uneventful dive through Sherlock. We did have Armored Knights in the top 2 zones, but didn't really give us too much trouble. Do I want half the world? Nah, thou art a fool. Stop spell's good. Yeah, we made the odds-on plays. Didn't get it. Again, our range is only 6 to 13 damage. We max roll on the opener for 13. $29. $39. $54. $66. $78. $87. $98. $109. $119. $130. $136. We've rolled extremely well in this fight. That is our first number below 9. $144. $156. Likely to win on the next swing, but not guaranteed. $166 clears the range, gets it done. Thanks for the good luck, Fat Boy. It worked out. Waylon, please. GG. So that is a second place finish, 1:14.18 officially. Thanks for the GG's EMP and Angerel. EMP took the win in this one at 108. We would have been closer had we not had that forgetting to do the turn-in snafu, but I mean, again, realistically, since I would need to have gone out, got keys, gone back, it's probably a maybe 3-minute time loss and a 5.5-minute deficit. I think the bigger key was the fact that we died to the golem the first time and didn't get a chance to save the princess. That absolutely would have saved us a couple of minutes in navigating all the way back there an additional time. But what can you do? We didn't know it had sleep. Ran out of keys after rescuing Gwaelin. Yeah, that's pretty much the situation for me as well. I saved Gwaelin, and actually what I forgot to do is I forgot to do the staff turn-in. So I went to go pick up the coordinates, and the stones were the last thing I needed, and I went down to... Or no, wait, what did I do? Oh, right. I went down to the jerk cave and realized, oh, I forgot to do the staff turn-in. So I went back home, walked through the castle, and realized I didn't have any keys left. So I had to walk back out. So altogether, that's probably at least a good 3 minutes. But what can you do? Everything else, for the most part, went pretty smoothly, again, with the exception of that unfortunate golem death. But again, when you don't have the information, that's about as good as you can do. We just got unlucky with a long sleep. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So it's okay. We don't want to make mistakes like that, ideally, ever. But when they do happen, as long as they don't, like, punish us too greatly, then it is, you know, it feels less bad. Let's put it that way. Trying to trace over the map here just a little bit with a slightly better marker, but it is also a very... It's a regular chisel tip, so it's not as smooth and fine point. That looks okay enough, though. But GG's to EMP, definitely. That was a challenging seed, I think, probably most in the fact that it was difficult to find enemies to fight earlier on when we had Hurtmore. We had a lot of enemies in Zone 012 that just weren't worth a ton, and then immediately ran into zones with Stone Men, Wizards, Demon Knights, etc., and we just did not have the raw attack power to deal with any of that. So it really came down to finding good zones for Hurtmore enemies. I know that we did find one. It did take us just a little bit to do so, though. Give me just a minute, and we'll have the map up. Gosh darn it. Not sure why it does that. This new keyboard that I have, it like, when it goes to sleep, it will not, it activates on key press, but it does it faster than my old keyboard did. That's annoying. So when I hit my hotkey, it just wakes the keyboard. It doesn't actually enter the input. So thanks for the point out. In any case, started off northeast corner of the map with Tanthagil. I think the starting stats were 5, 12, 21, 9, and Hurtmore, so Hurtmore was really helpful. We did have Scorpions right outside, so Hurtmore down several of those to give us a few levels at the start, and 33 MP at level 4 really launched things into orbit. We did have Cantlin right outside, and Remolder relatively close by for key access. We did purchase keys and check the treasury. Unfortunately, no gold available either there or in the basement, as we found the staff cave down underneath the castle. We did pick up, however, Fighter's Ring and Dragon Scale in the treasury. The chest in Remolder didn't have anything. Tablet Cave had another key in it, so even if we somehow couldn't afford keys or somehow missed Remolder, we still would have been able to get keys pretty easily. But after this opening area, there was really a bit of a struggle to try to find an area where we could hurt more down enemies. Our strength was pretty abysmal. We had a copper sword after a while, but that was about it. Up here to the northeast, we ran into wizards and blue dragons, which were not helpful. And as we navigated down further to the south, we got around to this area. That's about as far as we were able to get exploration-wise. We did see an area up in around here that did have Magiwyverns, but it also had stone men and some garbage enemies, so not the best. But somehow there was just a couple of tiles outside the swamp here that we were able to pick up a very high number of werewolves. So we spent quite a bit of time boring down werewolves in that area before advancing further. Eventually we did go down a little bit further. We found some wyverns down here and just kept exploring. We went all the way over to the west and found the Jerk Cave on a wonderful little Jerk Cave island. I think that's the first time I've seen that, so that was very cool. Enjoyed that. Went up and found the grave. And this is the other place where we might have lost some time, is we did full dive the grave, even though we had picked up, I think, the fairy flute and the silver harp at the top. Now needing only the stones and the sword, we did full dive grave without outside, and we walked all the way out. So this was probably the other big area of potential time loss and could have had time save. So we walked out. We did find Garenham just off to the northwest, so no problems there. We did check the swamp cave in the back and unfortunately died to the golem the first time through before saving Gwaelin. We knew that we had coordinates and they were somewhere in this area, but not going to be an easy count. So next time through, this time we followed more to the east. We found the town of Cole, which had, I believe, the Death Necklace. No, Death Necklace was in Hawksness. Cole had the Death Necklace. Hawksness had the Fairy Flute. We didn't think that any sort of gold grind was viable at that point. We would have needed over 11,000 gold. So, yeah, no. We did pick up or find Breckenary, which only turned out to be a little bit helpful for Fairy Waters at the end game. To the west was Hawksness with an Axe Knight, which if we would have found earlier, that would have been a fantastic grind area, but we literally took out just the one to check the search tile, and it was the Fairy Flute. Nothing past Charlock, but we did have the mountain cave just to the southwest, which we did clear the first two chests to find the sword, which meant that the stones were on the overworld. And here's where, again, a little bit of a mistake took place, is, yes, we went ahead and saved Gwaelin in the back of Garenham, and when we went back, we forgot to do the staff turn-in. So we walked all the way down, picked up the stones, walked to the Jerk, realized that didn't have the harp, went home, walked through the castle, realized I didn't have keys, had to go to Remolder and go back and then go down and then go out. So those two things are probably combined, you know, like, especially with the continued dive through Grave and having to walk all the way back out, is probably a good 10 minutes between the two. So, we did what we could. Hey, Nim. It's going pretty well. A decent race here. Again, a couple of little tweaks that are things that I should have considered. Diving Grave without outside, not the best idea, and then forgetting to do a turn-in for the harp and running out of keys in the process.